Hello everybody, it's your boy Justin, and we have another comic book review for you today. We're reviewing Superman Kryptonite, which is written by Darwyn Cooke and drawn by Tim Sale. When I first saw this, I thought it was like a Jeff Loeb Tim Sale team up, but unfortunately it was not. But Darwyn Cooke is still Darwyn Cooke is still like a famous writer and art. Well, he's most notably known for being an artist. He's Canadian, and he's most famous for the DC New Frontier book that he put out, and he's also put out books like Batman Ego, and apparently he worked on before Watchmen, Midman, and Silk Spectre, which I wouldn't mind picking that up. That sounds cool. And Darwyn Cooke, I remember like when I think it was back in like 2006 or whatever, like no, maybe it wasn't 2006. He went on like a old man rant about saying like how perverted the new DC characters are, and like how perverted comic books in general have become. Which was a direct reaction to when Batwoman was was revealed to be lesbian after what was it called, 52, which I know that sounds confusing because like 52, is he talking about New 52? No, there was before Final Crisis, there was a series called 52, where it was like, I think it was like 52 issues or whatever of a comic book series where they had, no way it was 52 issues, was it? Let me double check. It was basically, it was called 52. It was like a comic book series that was leading up to Final Crisis. And I read it before reading Final Crisis, and it had pretty much nothing to do with Final Crisis. I still went in reading Final Crisis like super confused, right? Oh well, but we're not here to talk about Darwyn Cooke, who's dead by the way. He died. How many issues were there? There were 4 volumes, huh? I don't know. Yeah. So today we're reviewing, like I said, Superman Kryptonite. Which, if you're interested in more Superman books by Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb made a book called Superman for All Seasons, which the cover looks pretty cool. I might pick that one up. That and Return of Superman, which I don't own. I do own Death of Superman, but I don't own the Return of Superman, unfortunately. So the book takes place early on in Superman's career, though it's like it takes place during modern day, which is kind of confusing. Where Superman isn't aware of his weaknesses yet, and the book promises to reveal the secrets of Kryptonite, right? So that's pretty cool. So like it takes place during early on in Superman's career. He gets, as Clark Kent, he gets called into what's his name, Perry White's office because Superman, as Clark Kent, works for the Daily Planet. Sorry, and he's called into Perry White's office with Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. They get put on an assignment to expose this new billionaire philanthropist, even though they say, like, he says, like, he only has, like, $22 million. So wouldn't that make him a millionaire? Whatever, right? This philanthropist called, what was his name? Something Gallo. Oh, my God. Tony Gallo. Yeah, Tony Gallo. Who's this Italian mafia guy who runs a casino called Utopia in in Metropolis who is getting set up by Lex Luthor, um, to be like a criminal, right? He does a false flag on Peter Gallo where he makes people think that he hired the Four Suits gang or whatever they're called to attack Superman with a truck filled with some kind. I don't know if it was like dry ice or some shit. Basically, it was like cryogenic bullshit that explodes and freezes almost everybody, but Superman saves everybody in the nick of time. But at that point, like, Superman was super scared because he didn't know if he was able to survive the cold, extreme cold. And then there's another situation where, like, while he's on a stakeout with Jimmy Olsen, where a volcano explodes in this tropical island, and Superman goes to try to save everybody by digging a trench underneath the island to like vent out the lava. Ends up almost drowning in the lava, but he's able to save himself. But like there's a scene where, like, you know, he where he gets out, right? And like he talks about how he was ashamed of like, you know, of being afraid and almost dying. There's like a dog barking at him who's on fire, by the way, which as a dog owner, that kind of pisses me off. And he talks about how a woman, you know, how, like, because he was on fire and he was all dark from the suit, from the lava, like he looked like a flaming demon to the locals, and one old woman jumped into the lava, right? And he tells this to his mom and pa because, you know, he's like, you know, scared. You know how you are when you're like, you have a problem and you're scared and you run to your parents. That's what like Clark Kent does, like, you know, a couple times throughout the book. And his parents look super old in this book, by the way. So that scene kind of bothered me because it's like, you saved the Four Suit Gang when they're criminals and tried to kill you, but there's no mention of whether or not he saved the fucking dog that was barking at him that's on fire, which that was a very graphic scene. So throughout the book, you know, we're dealing with Superman's, like, you know, anxieties of whether or not he's invulnerable or not. While that's going on, we get some backstory to this giant rock of kryptonite, which is sentient, by the way, who was that came to Earth the same time that Superman did on that rocket, and, like, you know, he was like the kryptonite, the big giant kryptonite ore, is living with Tibetan monks or whatever. He's learning about, like, Zen and everything from the monks. The monks get killed by this mafioso guy who transports the rock to his mansion. He gets killed by his wife, and his son kills the mother for killing his father, and that turns out to be Tony Gallo, who turns out to be possessed by the kryptonite. And the reason why the kryptonite possesses him, because the kryptonite wants to meet up with Superman and reveal, like, Superman's past to him, but, like, he has to be careful because obviously kryptonite can kill Superman. Like, periodically the Tony Gallo character has to bathe in the light of the kryptonite, and, like, the kryptonite is kept in this, like, lead like vault, but, like, while he's bathing in the light, you know, the vault's open. So there's a scene where, like, while the vault's open, kryptonite is just Superman is just flying over the vault, and, like, he falls almost to his death and gets beat up by Lex Luthor's henchman, who sees, like, um, opportune moment. Which there's a scene where like Superman is talking with the possessed Tony Gallo. He's learning about his history, and like Lex Luthor shows up with his henchmen to kill Superman. But like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, outsmart him, right? And basically the book ends. So the book and like there's like a speech by the end of by Superman where like he doesn't mind having a weakness because he feels like being knowing that he's not knowing that he's like vulnerable, that he has a weakness, makes him feel more human, right? So the book ends off in like a good note, and I don't know, I really like the book because there's some funny dialogue here and there. The villains are pretty cool. You got to see more of a human side with Superman. You got to see him kind of weak and like insecure, which is cool, right? I don't know. It's the thing where it's a very light-hearted book, and there's some action here and there, but there's not a lot of action, right? So if you come in like expecting to see Superman like getting big fist fights with super powerful supervillains, that's not what this book is. It's basically like a light-hearted book where like it's basically like a family drama, right? So I don't know. Besides from that, I still enjoyed the book. I thought the art by Tim Sale was really cool. It has this like, I don't know, Tim Sale combined with Darwyn Cooke, it made the book feel like very retro. Like it felt like I was almost reading an 80s book, but the modern day dialogue kind of put me out there. Because like there's a scene where like Lois Lane is like talking to Jimmy Olsen during their like stakeout of Tony Gallo. I don't know why I keep calling him Peter Gallo, Tony Gallo, and she's like, "Oh, is the tape recording?" And he's like, "By tape, you mean sound file?" Sure. It's like, okay, Darwyn Cooke, we know you're not a boomer, okay? You're up to date with all the technology shit. Which I really liked this Jimmy Olsen. He's very snarky, right? Though this Lois Lane is kind of Lois Lane could be kind of a bitch in some of the comics. Here she rides the line between bitch and like kind of like understandable. Where she during the whole the volcano scene where like Superman has to save everybody from the burning volcano, she's pissed off because she got stood up from a date, and like Superman finally meets up with her, and it's dawn is breaking, so it's like early morning. And he's like, "Yeah, sorry I couldn't meet with you, Lois, but I had to save an island full of people." Did you just go on a date with the guy we're trying to expose as a criminal like genius or whatever? And she's like, "You weren't there. You were late. You chose you don't prioritize me. Like you prioritize like the world, and that's okay, I guess. But I can't be with somebody who's not dedicated to me or some fucking bullshit, right?" Which like here, it's not 100%. It's not 100% clear if people know if the people around him know that he's Superman. Lois, I think, knows that Clark Kent is Superman, but like Jimmy Olsen, I don't think so. And there's a scene where you see like Clark Kent and like Superman in the same room together. I'm like, is that Batman playing like Clark Kent again? And no, it turns out to be a cyborg that Superman has. So like Superman has Kryptonian technology, but he doesn't know his Kryptonian past. Like there wasn't like a history file or something. I don't know, man. I'm still not up to the lore on, like, you know, the Fortress of Solitude and all that shit. How did he get the Fortress of Solitude? Did he just make it, or like, I don't fucking know. Right. Overall, I enjoyed the book. It was a light-hearted, fun read. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. All right, guys. My next comic book review. I was gonna review 3 DC books in a row because, you know, if you look at my DC comic reviews and my Marvel comic book reviews, I've reviewed more Marvel comics than I have DC comics. And as a DC fan, that kind of annoys me. So I'm basically going to like review a bunch of DC books. So I was gonna review All-Star Batman, Volume 1, My Own Worst Enemy, next, which I still haven't opened this book. It still has the plastic, you know, sheet over it, plastic wrap over it. But yeah, somebody asked me to review Watchmen today, and it's like, oh shit. I don't have Watchmen. I know. How can I be a comic book fan and not have Watchmen in my collection? The reason why is because when I first read Watchmen, I was a broke teenager, so I read like a copy from the library, and so when I got older, when the movie came out, I bought the movie, and I really enjoyed the movie. The Watchmen movie is my favorite superhero movie ever. So whenever I get into a Watchmen mood, I don't read the book, which I don't own. I just rewatch the movie, which I not only do I have it on DVD when it first came out, I went out and bought the Ultimate Cut, which is a 4-hour 4K version of the Watchmen movie, which I still haven't watched, by the way, because I don't have a 4K TV or 4K Blu-ray player. So I have this like $40 Blu-ray or whatever it costs that I can't watch. But you know, I still love having it, man. I'm gonna watch it someday. But yeah, so like so I told the guy, hey, I can't review Watchmen. I don't have it. Maybe at some point I will grab when I can, I'll grab a copy, right? So I gave him some suggestions of what I could review. I forgot I had before Watchmen Ozymandias. I probably should have mentioned that, but no, like I mentioned that. Oh, I also have I have like Kingdom Come, which is kind of like Watchmen, but like by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. And I told him I also have another book by Alan Moore, which is Batman Killing Joke, which he asked for Batman Killing Joke. So that's basically. Sorry, I went on like a 2-minute like rant, but basically that's what our next review is going to be. And after we review Batman's Killing Joke, we're going to review the Titan Hunt, because like we haven't reviewed any Teen Titan books. And I do have another Teen Titan book, but I want to save that. I want to read some old school. I want to review some old school Mark Wolfman books before I review Teen Titans games, which was like a book that Mark Wolfman and George Perez took like decades to make, mostly because George Perez was going blind, and he had a hard time drawing. It's hard to draw when you can't see, apparently. Who knew? All right, guys, that's it for today's